What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video. I hope you're all doing good. Now, I know we're back into a proper season, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop bringing you the spice, and this video is no different. So we're going to be taking a look at Pokemon ranked 437th in Open Ultra League. This Pokemon is CLAWITZER. So I just want to give a shout out to Shuan and friends who initially suggested I use this Pokemon quite a while back. I finally got around to it. So the one we're using is a rank 47, so really good IVs, and the moveset we're running on it is Water Gun, Crab Hammer, and Ice Beam. Although towards the end of the video, I will be swapping this out for Dark Pulse. So we're going to be running this in a team with two other things that are good against grass types, in Alolan Muk on the safe swap, and then Regice as the closer, and that's the first time I've ever used Regice as well. So let's get into the battles. Actually, before we crack on with the commentary, I just wanted to say, please do not use this Pokemon because it is really bad. I went on a 7-game losing streak with it before I actually changed the team up. Maybe it was the team, but yeah, it's not particularly great. So moving on into the commentary, we actually had Charizard on the lead, which was really good. They made a swap into the Scrafty there, and we actually called that this was an acid spray rather than a foul play. We just did some chip damage to the Scrafty before we moved into the Muk. Just keeping some health there on the CLAWITZER for the Charizard. So they hit us with an acid spray, which is absolutely fine. We're just going to build up to 100 energy, and we're going to get off a Dark Pulse here, hoping this can actually take them out from the range they're at, even though it's resisted. But they actually give up a shield, which is really surprising. They did sneak for another counter as we went for the second Dark Pulse, expecting them to let this go through, and it doesn't actually KO, which is insane. XL Scrafty really is a tank. So they hit us with a foul play now, and we're double debuffed. So they managed to actually take us out and win the swap. So we've cocked that one up royally. So we're going to come in with the CLAWITZER now and water gun them down. Expecting them to come in with something different, but they actually bring back in the Charizard, which is quite interesting. So we're going to shield this up because even Dragon Claw probably gets down quite low. Then they make a swap into the Lapras, so that's looking really nice for us now. Really unusual that they didn't bring in the Lapras against the CLAWITZER. So that's kind of ruined the battle for them there, because then they would have been in line with the Charizard to our Regice. But we'll take this one. We're just going to get off some Thunder, as you can see. Did a nice amount of damage to them. It does get to its moves quite quickly, does the Regice, but obviously with having no fast move pressure at all is the only drawback. So we're going to go for another Thunder now, expecting they'll probably shield this up, which they do, and we're easily going to be able to get to another one before they can get to a third Surf. We're actually going to choose to put all our faith in the CLAWITZER and let that go through. So we bring it in. I don't know why. We're going to go for the Crab Hammer now. This should KO the Lapras. And can we water gun down the Charizard? We actually got the boost. So we're going to be able to just do it. And if you could see there, the boost actually made the difference. So that's how bad CLAWITZER is. It was going to go down to the Charizard there, but we were just able to do it with the boost. Into the next one, we roll with a Regirock lead, which is really, really nice for the CLAWITZER. And we're going to be able to tank whatever they throw at us here. I don't think Regirock has got access to an electric move as far as I know. But anyway, they make a swap out into Cresselia and we bring in the Alolan Muk, of course. So we're going to be able to beat this thing here with the super effective dark type moves. We can easily tank 2 Moon Blasts, just hoping they don't get the debuff on us with one of them. So we're going to get off this Dark Pulse before they can get to another one. And it's going to take 2 of them to take out the Cresselia. So we're likely going to look to build up to the max energy we can before we throw the second one. And take out the Astral Duck before we see whatever comes back in. And I'm trying to think what they've probably got in the back. Likely another answer to a fighting type if they're leading Regirock. So they do come back in with the Rock. And we're going to go straight for a Dark Pulse, of course. And this won't be doing too much damage to the Regirock, obviously being one of the Regi trio, absolute tanks that they are. And they just get to another move before we get to the Dark Pulse. That was nice counting by my opponent, throwing it just before we could get it off. And then make an actual swap out into Swampert, which is fine. We're actually going to stay in with the CLAWITZER and just go for a Crab Hammer. Should do a nice amount of damage to the Swampert. And we actually get the boost once again. So, of course, we're going to shield this up because we're featuring the Claw. So, let's see what we can do here. Can we water gun down? Of course we can't. It's the thing. It doesn't put out enough damage. And it obviously takes an eternity to get to its moves with the water gun. So now they've got 2 shields with this Regirock remaining. And we're just going to go for another Crab Hammer here, which obviously they're going to shield up. How much damage can we do to it with the water gun before we go down? We actually managed to finish it. They couldn't lock on us down. And with the boost, once again, CLAWITZER taking the win. Maybe if this thing got the boost every single game, it would be useful. Like I say, this thing just takes too long to get to its moves. It could do with a lower energy cost water move, maybe like Aqua Tail or something like that. And it probably would improve it. I'm not really a big fan of Water Gun in general as a fast move. So let's see what happens in this matchup. We've got the neutral Snorlax in the lead, and we trade shields there, and they're probably going to outpace, well, they're definitely going to outpace us to a Body Slam, which we probably could tank, and then we could just go for the Crab Hammer, see if they want to give up their last shield. And then we get lag at the worst time, and wouldn't you know it, it stops us from getting to the move. So thank you very much, Niantic, once again, shitting all over my face. So we bring in the Alolan Muk, which will be resisting the lick as it is dark type, and we go for a Dark Pulse straight away before they can actually get off a move, which is quite nice. And let's see what they want to bring in. They're taking a bit of time. I don't know why, because they're bringing in a scav, which is an answer to Muk. Looks like they got a bit of lag on their end there, but sometimes it's really hard to tell whether it's just a visual glitch or whether they are actually missing the fast moves. So we've actually built up to a Dark Pulse and we shielded up the drill run, which would be taking us out. And now they actually give us one of their shields, which is absolutely fine. But we are looking in a really dodgy spot here, having the Escavalier here, which is a bit of a core breaker to the two Pokemon we have left. We make a swap out into the Regice and they come in with Gallade. So we're going to be able to do something here because we're going to be able to get to a Blizzard, which is going to do a lot of damage. And there's potential that we could actually farm down the Gallade with the Alolan Muk. They're obviously going to get to a close combat, which is going to be devastating the Regice. And then can we actually snarl down the Gallade before they get to another close combat? We do. And we've got the Dark Pulse ready to go, but unfortunately we CMP tie with the Escav, who had that drill run stored up. And that was really well played by my opponent in that battle. GG's to them. Unfortunately, could not do anything at the end there. So we move on into the next one. We've got another really nice lead for the CLAWITZER. Unsurprisingly, we do win the lead in a lot of these battles because it was the only time that we were actually pulling off wins. So they actually make a swap into Aerodactyl, which is not only spicy, but also crazy. And then they let the Crabhammer go through. What the hell? And they bring an Arcanine, so everyone of the team is weak to CLAWITZER. How's that for an algorithm? So we go for the Crabhammer here. And now it's freezing all over the shop, so you know that they force close the app. And then we hit the get a boost for absolutely no reason. The game's just having a laugh with us, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So the Charizard comes back in and we're going to water gun down and say, thank you, sir. Thank you for your triple week to water team that we really enjoyed seeing with our claw. So we move on into the next one. We've got Walrein on the lead, and this isn't great for the CLAWITZER. So we're making it to swap out into Alolan Muk, which is pretty questionable to be fair, as it's not the best matchup. But they bring in a Talonflame, which is fine. They're obviously just wanting to get that away from the CLAWITZER. But that's fine with me anyway, because we do have the opportunity to win the swap, and then the Regice can deal with the Walrein. So we're going to go for Dark Pulse, does a nice amount of damage to them, and then we're going to look to get off another one before they can get to the second Flame Charge. We did let the first one go through, so they're going to commit their first shield to that, and obviously at this range we're probably going to be incinerated down, so we're just going to let this go through, and we're going to come in with the CLAWITZER and look to Water Gun down before they can get to another move, which we do, which is really, really nice. Expecting them to come back in with the Wally now, and at this point is when I started to realise maybe Foul Play, sorry, Dark Pulse is the dark move that the CLAWITZER learns. It's probably a better option just because of these sort of matchups where we're getting stuck, not being able to do any sort of neutral damage to the Wally. So we make a swap into the Regice and they stay in, which is absolutely perfect, telling me they might have something else in the back that doesn't want to see Regice. So they go for an Icicle Spear bait and we fall for it, which is really, really sad. We didn't even really need to worry about shielding up the Earthquake, but at that point I thought they were definitely going to go for Earthquake, and I wanted to keep the Reggie in good health because there's clearly something in the back that doesn't want to see it, considering they're shielding up the Wally. So you can see we tank an Earthquake like it's nothing, and they've got Sceptile in the back. So I'm really confused here. Why did they not bring in the Sceptile against the CLAWITZER when they won the swap? They brought in the Walrein. So I know they didn't realise we had Regice in the back, but that was a very bum play by the opponent there, and we'll take it, to be honest. So we take out the Sceptile with a Blizzard, absolutely obliterates it, come in with the Claw, and we take out the Wally with a not very effective Crabhammer, hitting hard and taking out his Marine Brethren, saying, get the hell out of here, bro, I'm sick of you. So moving on into the next one, we've got Swampert on the lead, so this is pretty decent for us, but we just got to watch out for that Earthquake, of course. I think we probably can tank an Earthquake, so we are going to choose to do that, and we do live it by probably about 20 HP or some shit like that. I don't know how it translates with that bar, but we go for a Crabhammer, does a nice amount of damage to them, but once again you can see we're just not able to water gun them down, and really we should be doing enough damage there to take them out from that range, I would think, when we're going for a move like Water Gun, which is more about the pressure of the fast move damage rather than energy generation. You would expect it to be able to take that thing out there, but no. Anyway, so we take the Swampert out with the Alolan Muk. We did let one Hydro Cannon go through, which was a nice call, and they come in with Machamp. So this is looking really, really bad for us. But luckily, they let through the Sludge Wave, which is absolutely golden because this thing's going to pulverise the Regice in the back. So we're going to shield that up because we're easily going to be able to get to another Dark Pulse. And expecting that they will commit a shield here, because that is a tell that we've got something in the back that doesn't want to say Regice, but they don't. They don't shield it up, but they've actually got something in the back that is also an answer to Regice, so they must be psychic. We go for a Dark Pulse, and they let it go through, so why would they not commit a shield at this point? Do they know we've got Regice in the back? Honestly, it's like the perfect call, because they need to keep their shields. We're putting on absolutely no fast move pressure, and we needed to get a shield out of them, but somehow they knew to hold on to those two shields. If we had a fire type, it's done. I don't understand. Sometimes I do wonder, can people see your team somehow? It's very, very curious that they seem to know what's in the back, because Regice isn't a common pick. Maybe they thought I had a Walrein in the back, to be fair. Well, fair enough anyway to them. They did well, and they beat us, didn't they? So well done. You beat a team with CLAWITZER in your mug. Just kidding. GG to all of my opponents, and we move on into the next one. Machamp on the lead, and neither Muk or the Regice want to see this, so it's pretty good to see it in the lead. We're going to stay in with the CLAWITZER, and you can see how much they're outpacing us to the moves. This is not going good with the Claw, but we're going to go for Crab Hammer anyway, hoping to get that boost. We do not get it, and luckily they did lag a couple of turns. It looked like we was able to sneak in a few rounds off the water gun before they got to the next cross chop. Maybe it was one of those fake CMPs where they thought they'd hit it. Sometimes that can cause you to miss a couple of turns if you're expecting to queue up for the next charge move, and actually you're going straight back into the battle. Anyway, they did take us out, even though we used up both our shields, and we're going to have to eat a load of cross chops from the Machamp. This is looking absolutely bleak. What are we going to do here? We get a ton of lag, and then look at that. The cross chop does absolutely no damage, and now my opponent's doing absolutely nothing. We're going to be able to snarl them down all the way. And what is going on now? We actually got a little bit of help from Niantic's poor servers there to help us. They were like, come on, mate, you're getting so decimated in this battle. You need all the help you can get. So in comes the Talonflame, it looked like, so we're going to go for the Dark Pulse, and it's still lagging like crazy. Is this actually going to do any damage? It does do damage, but my opponent's not doing anything. So as per usual, you can tell this game is completely fucked. I thought I'd just include this battle just to show once again that this game is an all-time low still with the state of its servers. Absolutely nothing has been done, and I'm sure my opponent was very salty about that defeat, as I would be, and rightly so. There's absolutely no competitiveness in this game when it's just completely flip of a coin whether you're going to get a benefit from the stupid lag or not, whether you're going to sneak in a fast move, whether your charge move is going to do no damage, whether you're going to get a third shield. Need I go on, list the bugs over and over again? We've seen them, they're still in the game since inception, some of them. Pathetic. So anyway, let's get on with commentary. Let's see if we can actually see this battle out without any lag. We did lead Giratina altered into our CLAWITZER, which is absolutely terrible. We did have the Ice Beam there, which would do a nice amount of damage, but unfortunately it takes so long to get up to it. By then, they probably would have taken us half out with their spammy Dragon Claws. So we made a swap out into the Alolan Muk, and we were met with a pretty harsh response, which was that Escavalier, and they took us out, and now we're equal shields to bring in the Regice, and they've got their own Alolan Muk in the back, so we're going to go straight for the Blizzard, which does a nice amount of damage, puts them into the yellow, and we should be able to hit them with a Thunder and take them out now, but they're obviously going to be chipping into us with those Dark Pulses. And obviously the IVs on my Regice are not particularly great. I mean, they're not awful, but it's definitely within the 1,000 odd ranked. So we go for Thunder here, and they give up their shield, which is expected. And at this point, I think, you know, we could just try and do it with the CLAWITZER. A couple of Ice Beams may do the trick, but there's no way we're going to Water Gun down the Alolan Muk before they can get to a move. And with the Poison Jab damage as well, we're definitely going to have to shield this up. But we call this an Acid Spray. Not that it's going to matter, because we ain't going to get up to 2 Ice Beams, are we? We go for the first one. See how much this does to the Giratina. It does do a lot of damage. Oh, we could have just made it up to that second Ice Beam. It would be nice, but we're not going to make it there, are we? Now we're debuffed. We're just about to get there, and they take us out. And that was unfortunate. Once again, the CLAWITZER showing that it just cannot get to its moves quick enough. Maybe with a better fast move, it would actually be viable. We go into the next one with an absolutely horrible lead, but they make a swap out, which is really, really confusing. It must have been because they didn't have Volt Switch as the fast move, and we were obviously doing super effective to the Alolan Golem as well with that Water Gun fast move. So in comes Gallade. We're actually going to stay here because this isn't the worst matchup. We're just going to go for the Crab Hammer. Probably look to catch a Leaf Blade maybe on the Alolan Muk, which is what we do. And that's really nice there. We wasted all of their energy, and we're just going to look to build up as much as we can before we take them out, before they get to a close combat. So we do 1 Snarl extra, counting the 4 confusions it is for the close combat. So we threw it in the middle of the 4th one. And now we're going to look to see what comes in. It is that Golem once again, so they do have rollout. As I thought, they don't actually have Volt Switch. That's why they dipped from their earlier matchup. So we're going to go for a Dark Pulse and chip into them. Does a nice amount of damage. Rollout does charge quite quickly, and expecting them to throw their move just as we get to the Dark Pulse, which is what they do. Nice counting once again by the opponent. Wild Charge doesn't quite KO though, and we're going to be able to get their last shield out of them or take out the Golem, and they actually decide to commit their last shield, and they've got a bat in the back. It's the Crobat. So Regice is going to have an absolute field day here. We get up to the Blizzard before they even get to a Shadow Ball, which is obviously going to KO. And now we're going to make a swap into the CLAWITZER as the Golem comes back in to try and finish things off with the star of the show. We're going to shield this up regardless of what it is. It is a Rock Blast, and they actually have 2 moves. They're like, no, you cannot take me out with the Claw. I must spoil the fun. What a party pooper. So we're coming with the Regice now, and we're going to be able to lock on down the Golem. Maybe if they had Stone Edge there, they could have done something at the end, but that was quite a comfortable win in the end. So we're going into the next one, terrible lead with the Astral Duck. So we make a swap out into Regice, as Alolan Muk is our hard counter to the Duck. So I can't remember the name, Crustacean, of course it is. And they come in now with a Scrafty, which is absolutely terrible for the Regice. They're going to be able to vamp up their attack and counter us into oblivion. So we're going to just get up to the Thunder as they get to another move. So this should be nice. We should be pressuring a shield out of them with the Thunder, hopefully. If they don't know their counts, they might think this is a Blizzard, because I don't think a Thunder would KO the tanky Scrafty. But we've got shield advantage, but things not looking great. We're going to come in with the CLAWITZER and look to try and water gun them down, which is going to be a big ask. They do bait us with another power-up punch, which is horrible. Can we just... Oh, we just got them down before they got to the foul play, which was really, really nice. And this is another matchup where we have Dark Pulse, which would be doing a lot better in the move pool instead of Ice Beam. We did hit them with Crab Hammer there, which did a nice amount of damage to them considering. Made a swap out into the Muk, caught the Moonblast, and they actually have Talonflame in the back. So, this is looking a bit dodgy here. See, if we had Dark Pulse on the CLAWITZER, this could be doable, but I'm thinking it's probably not going to be from this range. So we're going to go for Dark Pulse, making sure they don't get any Incinerates through. We're hitting them with a back-to-back now, so expecting them to shield this second one up. See if they want to commit their shield, and they do commit it. So that just gives us an opportunity maybe that we can farm down with the CLAWITZER and go with some moves against the Crustacean in the back there. But like I say, we don't have Dark Pulse. So if you think about the extra damage a Dark Pulse would have done that first time we hit them, and now the second one, we probably could have taken the win if we had it. So I think after this battle is the time that I did TM, because that could have been a nice win we could have pulled off there, but unfortunately we had the wrong moveset. So we're into the next one. Let's see what we've got. Electivire on the lead, which is absolutely horrible for the CLAWITZER. So we make a swap into Alolan Muk, and we're going to be able to get up to moves quite nicely and threaten this thing. They do go for a Thunder Punch, expecting it to be a wild charge before they dip out. So we did commit the shield, but we could have easily let that go through, which is a shame. They do shield up the Electivire though, because it is so squishy, and they swap out into Magmortar. So a bit of a theme team here. Didn't really expect to see that at this stage of the season. They go for a Fire Punch, and they get us down into the yellow. We're just going to go for Dark Pulses here, which will do a nice amount of damage to Magmortar, as again, it's not particularly tanky. That's why you don't see it particularly often in any of the leagues, really. Bit of a spice pick. Even more so than Electivire. So we're getting up to a second Dark Pulse. Let's see if they want to commit another shield to the Magmortar. This will be getting it down quite low, I imagine. It does put them down into the deep red, but we're not going to be able to take it out. So we come in with CLAWITZER, knowing we can resist a potential Fire Punch, and they don't get off a move. They're probably trying to go for the Thunderbolt there. And then they actually have Venusaur in the back, so we make a swap out into the Regice. We can easily tank a Frenzy Plant, which is what we will do. And now we're going to swiftly put an end to this vegetation with the first Frosts of Winter. Goodbye, Venusaur. And in comes that Electivire, and we should be able to see things out from here. We could shield this up and then just go for a Blizzard and easily take the win. But it's a CLAWITZER video, and we've got to see the Claw take out an electric type, haven't we? So we bring it in. We're going to easily shield this up. We probably could tank a Thunder Punch, to be fair, because like I say, this thing isn't too frail. We're just going to go for the Crab Hammer, and we're going to take the win. And that was even from a lost lead there, managing to pull it out. 473rd, whatever it is, 437th. Absolute pile of dung, but we're still managing to pull out the wins and having some fun in the process in a serious season. So marching on into the next one, we actually have Melmetal on the lead, which is pretty neutral, or Starfall, until they hit us with a Thunderbolt and completely decimate us. Luckily, we can get up to the Crab Hammer, but they've completely taken out the star of the show in the first round there, first round knockout. So we bring in Alolan Muk now, and things are not looking particularly great. At least we did get a shield out of them. So we're probably going to let this go through, and it is another Thunderbolt, and we're able to take that quite nicely. We're just going to build up as much as we can before they get to another move. No telling what they've got as the secondary. Probably Superpower, but we're not sure. Dark Pulse does a nice amount of damage, but it's not quite taking them out, so we are going to be forced to commit our first shield, but luckily we are going to be loaded on energy. Just Dark Pulse and one more Snarl. We're able to get through there. So let's see what they bring in. They bring in a Togekiss. So this is actually pretty decent for us, telling us that they might have something else that's weak to the Muk in the back, because obviously they're going to get one shot by that. We do bring in the Regice, and they swapped in to a Tangrowth. So the Regice is absolutely loving this. This is definitely going to take out the ball of grass. Get out of there. And then we've got Togekiss in the back. And it's going to be double Blizzard attack from the Regice in the back. I did really enjoy using Regice, I must admit. Not sure why we shielded that up, because we definitely could have tanked the Ancient Power. Could have been a Flamethrower though, I guess. And now they got the boost, so I thought at this point, no way, there's no way they're going to take the win here. But luckily, we can still get up to that Thunder, and we're going to take out the Flying Fairy. Get out of here, son. Regice taking the win, and we move on into the last battle of the video. Thank you so much if you're still with me. I really, really appreciate it. Please let me know what you thought of the battles. And it's another Wally lead, so at this point, at least we can actually hit them with that neutral Dark Pulse that we now have on the crab, even though it's not a crab, it's a lobster, I think, some sort of crustacean, of course. So we're just going to go for this Dark Pulse now and see how much damage it does do to the Walrein. Not expecting him to shield it up, but they do actually commit a shield, which is fine with us. Obviously, they don't know the moveset on this thing could have anything as far as they know, like a fighting move. So they go for the Earthquake, and we do actually commit our shield, and we called that it was not the bait, which is really, really nice for us. And at this point, I'm pretty sure this is another Icicle Spear, so we're going to let it go through. And we're able to take that quite nicely. Build up a little bit more energy and go for the Dark Pulse, which would probably not be KOing, but likely they're going to let it go through. They commit another shield, which is absolutely fine with us. And we're likely going to just let the CLAWITZER go down now. Quite crazy that they shielded up both those Dark Pulses, but that's more than fine with us. We're going to bring in the Regi now. We're going to be able to tank an Earthquake comfortably, and we're going to build up enough energy to have something loaded for whatever comes in after the Walrein. Saying that, I'm not sure if Thunder will KO from this range, as Walrein is quite tanky, and we're not getting stabbed from Thunder. It did actually take them out, which is quite surprising. They come in now with Scizor. So this isn't great for us. They're doing a lot of damage with that Bullet Punch. We go for a Thunder, and then we're going to make a swap out into Alolan Muk. A Blizzard actually does more damage, even if it's resisted, than a neutral Thunder, just because obviously getting stabbed and it's a harder hitting move. But we decided to just go for the Thunder there and try and save some energy on the Regice. So now they make a swap into Escavalier, and things are looking really, really bad for us here. We're going to be able to take out the Escavalier, I imagine, with Dark Pulses though. So we're just going to look to farm up as much as we can. We don't want to get down too low so that the Scizor can farm us down. So we do one more Snarl, and we're going to get it off. And can we get to another Snarl, another Dark Pulse against the Scizor? I'm sure we can, and we're going to take the win with the Alolan Muk, and that's going to seal the video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay angry, trainers.